Hey friends, Shree's here with Potter Palace 509, and today I am going to start some microgreens. So I am just going to film that and I can kind of walk you through the process from botanical interests that actually say microgreens on the top. See? And then I have this pack of seed sprout mix from High Mowing. So, but see how it says sprouting seeds right there. A little thing that a lot of people can kind of get confused, and this is where it's just marketing. And microgreens and seeds and sprouts are the same thing. What's in this package is going to look exactly like what's in this package, these seeds. The difference is when you sprout seeds for sprouts, like alfalfa sprouts, spicy sprouts that you buy at the grocery store, you're not going to put any soil. They are just grown in a jar with water, and I will show you that. The microgreens are going to be put on the top of soil, and so when they grow, they're going to sprout and they're going to look like little baby plants, because you could actually take all these sprouts and separate them out and plant them out in your garden as actual plants. You can do the same thing either way. So I could take this same sprouting seed mix. I could put this in soil just how I would these. And they would grow in the soil. They would sprout, that little sprout of a plant, and then I would snip them. So these I could use, and I could do them just like in this jar as sprouts. It would work just fine. It would do the same thing. So basically this right here is marketing. A lot of times it will say stuff on packages that, yeah, it's relevant information and it's truthful, but the way that they've marketed stuff. So if you didn't know any better, or if you were new, or you didn't know about seeds and things like that, you would be like, oh, well, these aren't microgreens. I can't use these for microgreens. These are for sprout starting. I want to grow microgreens. So then you would be getting something like this. But in reality, this is going to be more bang for your buck. $9.99 for 4 ounces of seeds. This is 24 grams for $5.99 of seeds. And I'm not dogging on botanical interest. This company is my very favorite seed company. I love them. I have used them for years, and I have actually followed Kevin from Epic Gardening for years, and he acquired this seed company a couple years ago, and so I thought that was really cool. And so they're awesome. So I just want to educate you on marketing. Don't get so wrapped up in the marketing on the package of what it says. Do some research, ask questions, ask your grandparents, ask your parents. They might be able to help you a little bit. All right. So with these, you are going to do a little bit differently. Okay. We're not going to use any planting medium. A wide mouth mason jar is the best, so that you can, kind of get in there when you want to pull them out and do things you want. So a wide mouth jar. Here's a lid you can buy. So it has holes, and it will screw right on the top of this mason jar. You also can buy, they do have just little screens that you can just use right in a canning lid that also will work if you don't want to buy this. If you are really handy and you have screen lying around, you could measure and you could probably make your own. You just want to make sure it's small enough that the seeds aren't going to come through, and they're pretty tiny. So kind of a couple different options. And what you're going to do is you're going to put like 2 tablespoons of your sprout mix, seeds in, fill with water, lid on, set it on your counter overnight, or for the day, 24 hours. The next day, you're going to dump this stuff upside down and strain it out. And you can take the lid off if you want, or you don't even have to. I don't even take my lid off. Run it under the water. You're going to fill it with water. You're going to kind of shake it around a little bit, and you're going to dump the water out and strain it out. And then I just take a little bowl, and I have a paper towel in here that I've kind of folded up. And I'm going to take and shake as much water out, and then I'm going to lean in this like this. So this is going to drain throughout the day and drain all the rest of that moisture out into here, into that paper towel. Is going to soak it up. The next day, you're going to do the same thing. You're gonna rinse the jar, dump it out, and then put it back in here so it can drain. And you'll notice after about, I'd say 3-4 days, 5 days maybe, your sprouts will be ready. So we'll start some sprouts today, and then when they're ready and I am gonna process them for me to eat them, I don't like to eat all the shells, so I normally will take them out, and it can be pretty tedious, but I've kind of figured out a way that works fairly good for me, that's fairly quick. If that doesn't bother you, then you just, once they're ready, you can put them in a colander, kind of give them a good rinse, strain them. I would store them in like a jar, container, whatever, with paper towel, and throw them in there, and boom, they're great. So, windows open. I'm in my menopause era, so I'm hot all the time. So let's make some microgreens. Got this really cool little terracotta pot at Walmart the other day. I just love the aesthetic of it. I like the look. And I've been trying to find something that I could grow a smaller amount of microgreens in instead of using like a 10 by 20 tray. And then I could just have them set on my counter and I can kind of snip as I want to. This also is a really super fun thing to do with kids. So if you have little kids around and stuff, then doing things like this is really fun. It's fun to teach kids how to grow things. Okay, we're gonna use these for my microgreens. So we're just gonna use just regular seed starting mix. Get my scooper, which is my cup that my friend got me. And then the thing broke off the handle. So I just use it as my scooper. So we've got our empty bowl, water. I'm gonna put. You might need to adjust your water, which you can do once you add the soil in before adding seeds. Actually, that's just about up to like your first knuckle in.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden.
Okay, so we have our soil and it's really moist. In fact, if I squeeze it, some water might kind of drip out, which is fine because we want our microgreens to be really moist. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to sprinkle a nice even layer of our seeds.
Hummingbird wing, golden.
I like to do a pretty healthy layer.
Golden.
So you want them to be nice and thick. So I'm doing this the hard way. I should have done this before I filled my thing.
Gold rings. Gold leaves.
Perfect. Okay, so before we put the lid on though, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give them a good misty spray. There we go. We've got a nice mist. We're gonna put the lid on. Mind my messy kitchen. I'm going to put these right. That's where I'll put the greens under the grow light. So once they pop up and they push that cardboard top up, I'm going to take it off and I'm going to put them under some light because they're going to look really bad. They're going to be yellow and they're going to look, it might look like there's some white mold stuff growing. It's not mold. That is the hairs from the seedlings. That's what's growing under the ground. But the reason you're seeing it is because the seeds are sown so thickly in such a small area. Go put them under the grow light, and then that's when they're going to green up and get really green and then grow a little bit bigger. So, yeah. We're here in the kitchen, and we're going to start these sprouts. Hang on. So I'm just going to use this. This is my little 2 tablespoon. I'm going to pour them in here, put it in the jar. It doesn't need to be all the way full, just needs to have water in there so that they can soak. Lid on. And then I am just, since I'm going to use this setup, I'm just going to set them in there. The sprouts will probably be ready, I'd say by Thursday. We've got our sprouts and our microgreens, and they're going to do their thing. And I will check back with you guys when something's happening. Okay, today is Tuesday morning, so we did our things on Sunday. And so yesterday I just came out and I watered these exactly how I'm going to do it today, and I'm going to show you. But you can see that these are starting to sprout, right? Okay, so we're going to water them, and then we're going to put the lid back on. Ready yet. We want to wait for the lid to push off, and they will be ready. So I just have probably like a half a cup of water probably in there, and I just kind of sprinkled it over, and you will see, so you can see some water on the surface, but that is okay. And then we're gonna stick our lid on, and we're gonna set it back over here, and we're gonna just wait, and I will check it tomorrow. And then, so I already washed my sprouts this morning. Yeah, we started these Sunday. Today is Tuesday morning. I'll show you. My sink is a mess. Don't judge me. So water on, and sometimes you can use filtered water or regular. I've never really seen a difference, so I'm lazy sometimes. So I'm not even gonna take the top off. I'm just gonna put the water in here, kind of fill it up a little bit. I'm just gonna give it a good shake. And we're gonna just dump, 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 dump. Shake, 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 shake it. Okay, we got a paper towel, and then we're just gonna lean. We're gonna lean it. We're gonna do that. We're gonna let them go and just leave them be. This is what it will look like when you're ready to take the top off. See how the seeds have kind of pushed it up. So you want to take that cover off, turn on your light, and then just set them under the light. They will start to, see how they're not super green, they look a little yellowy, and then they'll start to really green up as the days go by. Couple more days and I'll be able to cut them. This is what they'll look like when they are ready to be cut and harvested. Also need to get cut today. I'm harvesting my microgreens, and so this is how I've done it. So here's everything I've cut. So I'll show you. I just kind of grab a hold and I kind of just snip. These were really thick. It's very easy. It's actually really nice. You're like giving them a haircut. I like it. This is everything that I harvested, and then I will put these in with a paper towel to kind of absorb some of the moisture, and then I'll jar and put them in my fridge. They smell spicy, like radishes. And here is your finished microgreens. They're so good. So these sprouts are ready. They probably could have been done yesterday, probably even Saturday. What I do is I just have nice cold water. I'm gonna dump all of them in there. And then I'm just gonna this is 2 tablespoons of seeds in here. So then I'm just gonna kind of go like this with my hand. And then see how all the seeds kind of like float up to the top. Set this guy right here, and then I'm just gonna put my sprouts. And then I mean, you're gonna get some shell, but a little is not anything really too much to worry about. I mean, you don't have to worry about it. You can eat them. They're fine. I particularly just don't. So I just kind of scoop out as many of the sprouts as I can. You kind of have to move things around a bit. It's a labor of love. But most things are, like making bread, planting seeds, watching your garden grow. Yeah, there are still some things in the world that are not going to be instant gratification, ever. And this is one of them. And, you know, if you don't want to do this, then go buy them at the store. Okay. So anyways, I pretty much got all the sprouts out. You're going to salvage. There are going to be some that you're not going to be able to get. But sometimes I can go like this. And I'll just take my little strainer. And I'll just kind of right around the edge. Here's your finished sprouts. Thanks so much for coming along today, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. See you later.